Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have Tony Watkins of WICF, the president of WICF, and it's a great pleasure and honor to interview him today at the New Zealand Asia Cup 2023, which is being held here at Bangalore, Accelerate, India. Tony, welcome.
Thank you.
And how has been your experience with the way IISF has handled it? Have they stayed up to your expectation as a WICF president?
Yeah, look, I think it's been a great tournament. I think it's been fantastic. I think the teams have all really enjoyed themselves. I think we've got a really exciting morning this morning because the men's, there are three teams that can still get through to the final. So I know New Zealand's locked that in, but Sri Lanka, UAE and India all have a chance to make it through to the final on the last match of the round robin. So I think we're in for a really exciting morning. So really looking forward to it.
Wonderful. And Tony, what is your kind of words which you would like to tell to your viewers to will come and play more indoor cricket?
Oh, look, we're really trying to grow the game of indoor cricket, particularly in Asia, because I think in previous World Cups we've kind of had one or two teams from Asia participate, and so getting more teams in different categories is really important for us. Okay. And so I think holding the World Cups in the Asian continent over the next couple of years. We've got the Junior World Cup, which is happening in Dubai. We're now expecting over 36 teams at that event, which will just be phenomenal for the sport. And we'll start at the ground level and move all its way up through the Masters. But all the Masters I've spoken to here have been really excited by the competition, and I think it can only go from strength to strength from here.
Wonderful. So Tony, just one last word. We at IISF are endorsed a tagline saying, "Let's play indoor cricket." Will you endorse it and say it for the viewers?
Yep, let's play indoor cricket.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tony, and all the best to you and your teammates since you have reached the finals. And you are
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the New Zealand ASIACUP Masters Final. It's New Zealand against the United Arab Emirates, live from the XL R8 Indoor Sports Arena here in Bengaluru, in Bangalore. It's a fantastic culmination, climax to what has been a cracking 5 days of indoor cricket. Now the UAE and New Zealand will face off in this Masters Final. The UAE have won twice against New Zealand already in the Masters League, and the Kiwis managed to beat them once. So will it be 2-2 at the end, or will the final score end 3-1? Well, this is the final, the big game, the one that we've all been waiting for, especially for the Masters events. And then, of course, at 4:30, 4:30, we have UAE against New Zealand men's team. So the UAE news from the centre is they've won the toss and they're going to be batting first against New Zealand. Of course, the Kiwis are a highly experienced side, but this UAE Masters team has surprised, has caught us all off guard a little bit. They've been absolutely breathtaking so far in this tournament. They've topped the Masters division in this four-team format, with India, the India development team, New Zealand and the UAE. And well, the UAE men's team will also be competing in the final. And well, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be joined for this final by our friend TC, the Singapore head coach. So it's a pleasure being here with you, mate.
Great to be here too. This is going to be exciting. I'm pumped, ready to go.
It is going to be an exciting game, and of course, you being a Kiwi yourself, even if you are coaching Singapore, where do your allegiances lie here in this game?
No allegiance. Singapore has made that very clear. So no, best of luck to both teams. I've seen a fair bit of cricket in the last week, and this is a great match-up. So certainly no favouritism on the Kiwis from my side. I'm expecting UAE to come out really hard here this evening. And what's going to be interesting for me is just the first 2 overs, the energy levels. It's been a really big week. Who's going to be able to take that dominant sort of upper hand in the first 6 balls, first 12 balls? It could just set the tone for the rest of the game.
I certainly agree with you there. The UAE, of course, just a reminder, have already beaten New Zealand Masters twice in this competition. The Kiwis managed to scrape a win in the game between those 3 games. So, well, the UAE have impressed, not just in this Masters division, but also in the men's division. So they look like a team on the rise. And of course, they're missing key players also, both in the Masters division and the men's division. So that will further boost their credentials. Priest to bowl the first ball of this final. That's going to be a wide, surely. Well, there it is. It is a wide. Priest, as you rightly pointed out, the weather also is going to have, it might sound crazy, but the weather is going to have a bit of an effect, because I take it that in other different countries, like for example New Zealand, it's a bit colder. It's not as hot as it is here, as humid as it is here. So it's going to be rather interesting to see how they take that on board. Priest again bowling. Oh, that's a cracking start. Oh my word, what a wicket that is. Caught and bowled there by Priest. Amazing reflexes. Really good catch there, top notch. And Well, as you rightly pointed out, TC, the first 3 overs of this game are going to set the tone for the game.
Yeah, but look at the intent that UAE have come out with. This is how they play. If it's up, you're going to go to the back net. On that occasion, not quite following through and resulting in a catch. This could be a second catch, and it is. And Kiwis will be on fire. UAE, that was giving a wicket away unnecessarily. Sometimes that's what happens. The adrenaline just gets the best of you. UAE just needs to settle the nerves, get back to basics, start punching some down-up twos, rotating the strike, and resetting after that -8 start. Chris Priest, very, very experienced player here. He's in his element. Bit short, that might be called. Thought it might have, yes, no ball, next to 2 runs. And score changes to -5. More traditional looking indoor cricket shot, wasn't it? And only 1 run, but that's the way. Rotate the strike, nothing flashy. Don't give the Kiwis a chance. Try and shut them out really early.
And that's what New Zealand are very well known for. They apply the pressure, and then they just don't let go, do they? It's like a pit bull. Once it makes the first bite, they just don't let go. So it's going to be hard grafting now from this opening pair of Khalid and Siam. Khalid Hussain on -5, Siam Chandraban on 0. But that was a pretty decent over there by Priest. Actually, more than decent. It was pretty spectacular.
After an extra on the first ball, remember, as well.
Exactly, yeah. So it's all well and good here. A fantastic start by New Zealand in this Masters final. And am I safe to say that perhaps coming into this game, New Zealand were not the favourites to win this match?
I personally don't think so. I think UAE has, obviously they've beaten them twice, and it kind of almost feels like a home game for UAE. They've got the drums going on in the background. The only thing that may balance the scales is the temperature has dropped in the last couple of hours. Have you noticed that? Just we had a recent downpour here in Bangalore, and it feels like it's gone down like 12, 15 degrees, and that will play in the hands of New Zealand because, you know, as New Zealanders, we're just not used to the humidity that's here in Bangalore, whereas UAE, Dubai, they're certainly better equipped to handle the heat.
Talking about that, because I was speaking to some of the UAE members before, and even they said that they're not used to this weather because when they play indoor cricket, it's air conditioned.
Yeah, right.
So it's very good, decent temperature, 20 degrees, doesn't go above that. So they're used to playing in these kind of conditions themselves when it's a bit colder. So maybe you might think that, you know, it might benefit the Kiwis, but at the end of the day, it might also be beneficial for them because they're not used to playing in a 30, 35 degree heat, you know, cauldron. So that's something that I actually found, as you rightly said, very interesting because you would expect coming from the UAE, really hot, above 40 degrees, dry, but no, I was corrected on that. And they told me that they play on indoors, so the conditions to them were also alien. So fascinating, introspective there. As you rightly pointed out, TC, the UAE Masters, they have to get a few 2s and 3s here. Just rotate the strike. That is the key of indoor cricket, is trying to rotate as much as possible, not just whacking it for 5 or for 7. Like that. You know, rotate the strike.
UAE will be aware that Holmes is a strike bowler for New Zealand. He sets the trap where he puts the 2 players on the leg side. He does have an off-end. He bowls a very tight channel above leg stump. It's difficult to get away, and also with his height, he does get the ball to climb a little bit. So I think UAE's done well there. They've seen him off, got the scoreboard looking positive without that horrible minus sign next to the score. And that was what I was talking about, resetting, and they've done that really, really well. Now the key is to build some momentum up, and this partnership will be trying to get 10 runs off this over and build up to 20 before they hand over to the second pair.
And that would be a really good score to hand them over with, around another 19 runs needed for that. To be fair, I think after the disastrous start they had, losing those 2 early wickets, I think 15, they'll be really happy with that, because from being a -9, you know, that would be a turnaround of around 25 runs. So if they had not lost any of those wickets, they would have been up there with what is precisely, as you said, required more or less. What do you think is going to be a decent score in this Masters final, considering the pressure, considering the tension, the UAE supporters and fans, and even the players? I think they are just banging the drums and causing a bit of a riot on the side. So what do you think will be a decent score that they would feel comfortable defending, and what would be a score that is needed to defend? Two different questions there.
Yeah, I'm going to get trapped here later on, aren't I? I can see this coming, but no, it's a good question. Look, I would typically say they'd be wanting 80 plus. However, anything can happen in finals cricket, and when you bat first, it's runs on the board, and then you can turn the screws in the field. You've done your job with the bat, and then it's 8 against 2. So, you know, they might be happy with anything above 65 after the start they've had. They've just taken it up. Was that a 3?
Yep.
3 runs?
Yep.
So, you know, at this point, 65, 70 is very defendable, and we've seen that in the last few evenings where lower scores have been defendable. When you got this support coming from the UAE, Kiwis running that score down, it's different. You do feel the pressure, and UAE are known to bowl really tight bowling plans, you know. I haven't seen any superstar bowlers swinging it left, right, jagging it left and right, but they have really clinical bowling plans, and that builds pressure. So to answer your question in a very long-winded manner, I think 70 plus is defendable on these tracks.
That's a fantastic insight there.
What was the second question?
Oh no, the second question is, the first one was what would they feel comfortable defending,
Yeah.
and what is a good score? Because there are two different questions to that, right? Because maybe they will feel comfortable defending 65 because they have a very good bowling attack, but another team would say, hey, a good score here would be 80 plus, you know. So I personally think, as you said, with the start they have 14 on the board right now.
Yep.
I really do think something above 75, 80, I think they'll be really happy with that, because as you rightly pointed out, that's a catch. That is a fantastic catch there. Oh, and that again dampens the mood for the UAE and just gives the New Zealanders a huge morale boost there, because that is the last over of the skin. So just 4 balls left. They just needed to play sensible cricket.
Yeah, that'll be disappointing for the second pair coming in. The Kiwis had gone a little bit quieter, and that's just brought them back to life very, very quickly, hasn't it? And it wasn't really necessary. It was a pulled shot that could have been pulled immediately into the 2 net. He's tried to get bigger runs by going 3 and 4, and he's been well caught. But notice the field placement of Robbie there, down in the net. It went straight to him.
Yeah.
So Kiwis bowling to a plan here.
But that is all that's needed. Just run hard, run your 1s, run your 2s, accumulate a score. I mean, look, I've done the math. It's not as simple as this. Of course it isn't. But if you get 6 singles and over, that's 12 runs.
Sure.
That's 12 runs. You times that by 16. That's way in above 150, 160. That's all you need to do. Just find the gaps. It's easier said than done.
I think you should get into coaching personally. So I think we should watch the replay here. Kiwis went up for a run out. I don't think Priest had the ball. We've got the luxury of looking at the replay, which I'll have to put my glasses on for. So he did, and then it bounced off the stumps, but clearly we'll have to watch that frame by frame again if the technician team can help us with that. That'll be interesting.
Just a reminder, we do have DRS for the finals. So,
I'm surprised the Kiwis didn't ask for it.
15, as I said.
Yeah.
Maybe I should get into coaching.
Where is your crystal ball, my friend?
I do coach, but I coach football, so that's a completely
Okay.
different sport. For one of the teams in India, one of the first division teams in India. But yes, it's pretty. I think they won't be too disappointed, but they won't be too happy about it. It's like a bit of a, like when you have room temperature water. It's neither chilly, something like that.
Yep, agreed. And look, it's finals, so 15. It's positive. It's a platform, and it's up to the second pair now to just stabilise and try and get the score up to 35 if they can. Any opportunity to put the ball away 40. Depends what the Kiwis do here. If they come out with strike bowlers, and they've certainly got a couple of them if they want to hit this partnership hard. They're not going to. Doesn't look like they're going to open with Guy Coleman, who spearheads the bowling attack for New Zealand. Or am I mistaken? No, it is Guy's coming up to bowl the 5th over. So they are going to attack. They're coming straight into it. One of New Zealand's best bowlers, and let's see if he really winds up here. Finals day, all eyes on Guy Coleman.
He wears number 5 for a reason, doesn't he? Bowls the 5th over. That's a very good ball there by Guy. I mean, obviously, I'm doing the final with him afterwards, and he's a cracking personality. He's a Liverpool fan like myself, so I'm very happy about that. So,
you guys are good company together.
We definitely are. But the way he's swinging the ball, it's a late swing going out, to the batsman. So it's he always told me, or he was telling me whilst he was in the comm box with me, that he always bowled up, over number 5, because those are the key overs, 5 and 6, in the indoor cricket. So, fair play to him. He's creating pressure. 3rd ball now for Guy Coleman.
And let's see if Colsey brings out his famous off break, which he sets up to the leg side, or on strike 3, is he going to bowl quick and outswing and get the batsman walking? And there it is. And the reason I know that is Guy Coleman and I played together at North Harbour and won a couple of the national tournaments together, so I sort of know that play pretty well back in the day. Well bowled, Guy, well rewarded. And not an easy start walking out to this if the UAE batsman scores at -3 and you're facing a bowler who's capable of picking up another wicket.
Guy Coleman to continue bowling there. Oh my word, that was so close. That's a drop chance there. That is they should have taken that, really, shouldn't they? I mean, the Kiwis set themselves high standards in the field. They should have taken that.
I think Robbie was guilty there, just crossing over and getting in the view of the line fielder for New Zealand. Probably couldn't see it, and thus the miscatch. Because he's obviously disappointed, should be.
He's calling that he's calling a review for that. You can't review that. Only reviews that you can call are the runouts. You can't review a no ball or a white.
I think he was jesting, because he is quite a comical man. Great over though, wasn't it? And just interesting to see how the ball is still moving.
It's the conditions, I mean, as you rightly pointed out. It's the conditions, as you rightly pointed out. The weather has dropped significantly here in Bangalore, so the ball seems to be a bit nippier in this moment in time.
What also helps bowlers like Guy is that your hands don't perspire as much, because that humidity is completely gone for all of us, and we're not even on the court, so that will help the bowling side, which could mean a lower scoring match, because it will assist the guys that make the ball talk a little bit. So the bowling homes out early.
Is that a good move? What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I think he likes the ball newer, because he does get a little bit of assistance from the seam when the ball's a bit harder. And as we've seen the ball moving, he's got the ability to just move it in the air enough to make a difference. That could be overthrows. Robbie on the line there, just a little bit guilty of a wayward return, but wasn't an easy one. And UAE have managed to get the partnership into positive, and score turns over to 19. It's all happening, isn't it? Goodness me.
It is, and that is the beauty of indoor cricket, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is a fast-paced game, 16 overs if you're just joining us now and don't know a lot about indoor cricket. Many rules, different rules to outdoor cricket, many nuances, but nonetheless a fascinating game, and one which, to be very frank with you, TC, I've fallen in love with over the past 5 days. I mean, this is my first ever event. That's a very good fielding there by Fong. It's my first ever event doing indoor cricket. Of course, I play outdoor cricket and I've done outdoor cricket before, but it's the first ever taste of indoor cricket, and I have to say, it's just absolutely, it's like blitzkrieg, I know too well. It's intoxicating, isn't it? It is. Oh, good hit.
It's
a good shot for 3.
And great backing up by the New Zealand line fielder Hood to retrieve that and not allow UAE an extra run. Robbie Hyman to bowl the next over.
We'll be more than happy to discuss any of the events, any of the questions that you guys might have about the rules, regulations, about the game in particular. We're more than happy to have a conversation with the audience. Anything we want, you guys want, just so that we can continue growing the fan base of this fantastic sport. That's another wicket! 20 runs on the board, 19 runs on the board, sorry. And just as the UAE was starting to slowly creep their way to a decent skin, bang, there you go again.
This is a really clever over that Robbie's put together here. He's varied his pace, he's bowled some offies, he's, what's he got left? This looks like another offie. And Rob Sherry there at cover point, just blocking that, almost causing a little bit of confusion with Sachin, but Sachin was able to get back for the UAE side. But yeah, not a great start. UAE will be a little bit nervous about what they're seeing. The Kiwis do seem charged up, don't they? And look at that. What a catch. That is brilliant. That's great cricket. Great cricket.
Well, the Kiwis are setting the bar high when it comes down to fielding. We saw Giddish yesterday night take an absolute blinder for India against the UAE men's team. And today, we've just seen another fantastic catch there by one of the New Zealand players. Absolutely riveting stuff. And as we were discussing before, TC, from having 22 on the board, 23, they're down to 14 again. So it's all changed again. And this is the crazy nature of this beautiful sport that we are watching. Indoor cricket at its purest and finest format.
Sadly for UAE, these two have just sort of self-destructed, haven't they? They were building a good platform, they were looking quite good, and then they just started to play unnecessary, or what I say, almost reckless shots, and the team would be a bit disappointed. So they've got a job to be done here, just to see this over out in a positive manner, to at least quieten the Kiwis down a little bit, and let the third pair come in and start again. Great down up. And I wonder what would happen if we'd seen a few more of those shots during the partnership. The scoreboard could look like that 40 that I'd mentioned about 10-15 minutes ago.
But that's all that's needed, really. They just need to find those singles, hit the ball to the top springs and to the net, and just like Himanshu's just in there. It's just.
It was a great shot too.
It is. It is a very good shot, and its risk reward is, there's no risk to it, pretty much null. So they have to do more of that. More of that. That's what they need. They need to build up a score here. They need to give themselves a competitive chance in these four skins. I mean, in a final, the skins really don't matter, do they?
No, not
it's,
at all.
It's more to do with the final score. It's not a league format anymore, so points don't matter if you win a skin or not. It just goes out the window. It's how many points you can accumulate.
Exactly, but you've got to give yourselves, if you are batting first, you've got to give yourselves every chance of defending a score, and you've got to eliminate the risk factor. If you get yourself in form, you're seeing the ball well, or a particular batsman out of the partnership is performing well, then sure, go for it if it's up, but that hasn't been the case. The Kiwis have bowled well and had more of a plan than it appears the batting team has had at the moment. I'm just wondering if that's just more of the fact that UAE has not had the same level of experience at this level, playing in finals. You've got a number of the Kiwis that have been here, done that for many years, either at men's level or masters in one shape or another, being over 30s, over 35s, over 40s. So, there is a lot of experience on the Kiwi court right now.
So Meat and Mendes are coming in now for the third skin. So they managed to get 10. Imagine if they had played more sensible cricket and they had not got those two rash shots out. We would have been talking about 20, 25 runs on the board there for that skin. That would have been, as you said, 40 runs of those two initial skins. So they would have been in a good position to then just continue building on that. Those building blocks, as we always like to talk in cricket. But they haven't done that. They just threw away wickets at unnecessary moments in the game. And that gives the Kiwis a big edge coming into these next two skins. But I have to say one thing. Meat and Mendes are very good batsmen.
Very good.
They're very experienced batsmen. Perhaps I think the most experienced pair they have in this skin right now. And both of them are also big hitters. If the ball's in the slot, they're going to do it. But the good thing about these two is that they usually bat together. And they're also very good technically. So they can find those twos, they can find those threes. Perhaps that's something that was lacking in the first two skins. First skin especially, Khalid, is a see ball, hit ball kind of player. So these two are a little bit different. So let's see how they build up this innings.
And Priest to bowl this over. Full and punched into the net. I don't think that's going to trouble the umpire too much. Look pretty safe from here. And a very confident two. Great start. That's what we want to see. And that score of sort of 75 is looking a bit harder, but certainly still achievable at this stage. We're only halfway through the game.
If they can get two decent skins, and that, as I was saying before, sensible cricket. That's all they need to do.
Yes.
Sensible cricket. If they can get 5 of those, not 6, just 5 of them, 4 of them even, that's 32 runs off the skin. That takes them all the way up to 60. So what more do you need to do? You don't need to do anything else.
Methodical finals cricket approach, having a batting strategy, not looking for the ball that's not there, building up momentum, and if you get the ball that's there, by all means take it. So I agree, construct the innings, build the momentum, and there's a wide, so the pressure just coming back onto the bowler after two earlier deliveries that were punched for twos.
Priest continues. Again, that's a very good shot there by Mendes, and that's four doubles in the first 4 balls. And look at the score now. It looks better, doesn't it? 33 on the board, and the UAE now are motoring along.
Yeah, I like what I've seen so far. I just think Mendes needs to be mindful of Hood on the line there. He does have a good back flick, and if he's going to hit it flat like he has done in the last couple of occasions, Hood's going to walk in with a little bit more intent, having seen that, and he's going to be looking to see if he can run either Mendes out at the top end with a back flick, or run Mendes' partner out at the keeper's end. Let's just see if that unfolds.
Priest bowling. Again, solid. 12 runs off the over, and they haven't taken a single risk. It's what I've been saying all along in this indoor cricket format. It's easier said than done. You need to have a good technique, good footwork. You need to have good combination with the batsman, running, and good coordination also. But that's all that's needed. If you have a wide, just let it go. There's no need for you to hit the ball down the leg side if you know that it's going to be a wide. So 37 runs on the board, and it already looks very nice compared to an over ago. And now Adrian Fong is bowling. What can you tell us about him?
Adrian's a strike bowler for the side as well. Although
Actually,
I think he's been swapped. Yeah, I think he was going to bowl, and then they've changed their mind, and Hood's going to bowl. I'm not sure why they've decided that.
Well, Hood's got the same name as me, so I wish him all the best. Joel Hood.
He must be good then.
So what can you tell us about Hood? He's a big unit, muscular guy.
Yeah, look, I don't know him. I haven't lived in New Zealand for 20 years, so I'm not really across many of the guys. But what I've seen of him, he has been able to create chances in his bowling. That's not the start that he wants. And what I was going to say earlier, Priest has been playing really well this tournament, and you saw what pressure can do when you get hit for twos. He was bowling quite wide of the crease, wide of the off stump, and he was getting punched. Hood's just started with a wide, and there's another delivery. That's about 5 in this partnership that are very short and wide, and very easy for these two capable batsmen to put away for twos. So Kiwis just really need to get back to their bowling channels. They've got 2 players on the leg, yet they're bowling short and wide outside off stump. That's not the game plan. That's the game plan.
There you go. You see, you were calling it. You were calling it, TC. That is the game plan. They're packing the leg side, trying to bowl onto the legs, trying to commit the batsman to come forward, maybe play a false shot in the air. They have pretty good reflexes. They've already caught one in the leg side already. So, but if you're bowling towards the off stump and you have 2 on the leg and 1 on the only on the off, doesn't make any sense. So they have to get those lines right. Hood has to get the line right once again.
And Mendes will be a bit disappointed because his partner was backing up too far there, and that should never have been a run out, to be honest. It was clear for the non-striker. It was going straight to the leg side field. The batsman called early no, and he was still run out by a good yard.
It is Masters cricket at the end of the day. All of them maybe not as agile as they were 10, 15 years ago, are they?
Well, we're still seeing people diving around, so I'm not so sure about that. But in any case, fair play.
And it's fantastic, the diving I'm seeing here, and you know, from both Masters divisions and you know, the men's senior team. It's just, again, it's a completely new thing. That's a cracking shot. That's a cracking shot there. That is a very good shot.
Slightly overpitched, wasn't it? And UAE Meat has taken full advantage of that and punched it for 4. Great shot, well rewarded for a confident stroke.
Well, safe to say, Meat struck that off the meat of the bat.
He did.
So 41 runs on the board. A big thank you to our sponsors for producing and helping us doing this event, this indoor New Zealand Asia Indoor Cricket Championship, of course. It's a fantastic event for the past 5 days. This is the last day, of course. This is the Masters final between the UAE and New Zealand. And of course, later on, we're going to be having the big finale. And it is New Zealand against UAE once again. Shiri to continue bowling, and that's going to be a wide. Not the best of starts there. Again for New Zealand. When you bowl a wide like that, the first ball of the over, you just immediately apply pressure on yourself as a bowler. And you just relax the batsman a little bit. Because they know they've already scored. They know they've already scored 2 runs off that first over without even having to break sweat. So 44 runs on the board for the UAE at this moment in time. You think maybe 65, 70? They want a little bit more?
Yeah, I think knowing some of the bowlers that New Zealand still have up their sleeve to utilise, Coleman and Fong, you know, anything above 65, 70 would be what I would be wanting. But you never know. As these guys are tiring, it's the end of the tournament. We're seeing a lot more wides. We could see 75 plus, but I think a lot depends on these next 2 overs. And Sherry's just struggling for line and length here. He's trying to bowl cross seam. That's been punched comfortably for 2. I think we've had 3 off spin and a cross seam. Let's see what he comes up with next.
And the 50 comes up, and we have 25 runs on this skin. 11th over, so it's been a very good batting display so far by Mead and Mendes. That's another wide.
Yeah.
I mean, Shiri's not been bowling well, has he? He's lost the line a little bit. So they finish on 52 runs off that over. So that's a pretty good over. Remember, you said 65, 70, they'll be happy. At this moment in time, all it takes is 8 runs and over, 6 runs and over, and they're going up to 80, 85. And that would be a tough score for the Kiwis to try and attack later on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, these two have done an incredible job getting the partnership to 27, and this over's critical. This is a strike bowler. Adrian Fong's a good player, and if they can negotiate 5 runs or 6, I would be delighted with that partnership, setting it up for the last 2.
So Adrian Fong there starts with a dot, a good way to create a little bit of pressure or tension on this UAE batsman. Remember, the skins don't really matter anymore. It's all just about accumulating runs, and that's a beautiful shot there by Mendes. Takes it up to 54 runs onto the scoreboard. And like you said already, anything, 5-6 runs of this over, and that sets the 4th skin up rather nicely. If the 4th skin they can get 20-25 like this 3rd skin have done, UAE are in top control here.
And what it does, it just frustrates the fielding side and the captain and the players. When you come into the huddle after a partnership like this, there is frustration. Some players get a bit deflated. We've bowled a few wides, and so that helps the momentum in the sense for the UAE batting side coming in to capitalise that. And they've only got this two pair to thank for that. And the back stumps Holmes didn't have the ball. There was no appeal, and no out resulting. So how many balls have we got left?
2 balls left.
2 balls. Can the Kiwis have one final wicket in the partnership, or will UAE punch another 2-4 runs and take this partnership home? What a demonstration of batting. Cool, calm, collected. Looks like we've been here, done that before. I've been really impressed by these two.
That's all that's needed. It's not a game of where you have to play crazy shots. I've seen some teams play sweep shots, and I was going in my head, why on earth would you be playing a sweep shot here? Because the risk reward is completely null when you play a sweep shot.
Look at that calling.
Yeah.
Great communication.
Exactly.
No run and no concern. That's a great partnership. Really well batted, and that could be a game changer. Let's see how Mbat and Rajesh take advantage of the platform that these two have carefully crafted and put together. Their team should be clapping them off. I have to tell you, that's a great partnership.
Yeah, just like we said at the beginning of the skin, these two are perhaps the best partnership that they have in this UAE Masters side. They're both very level-headed, cool, calm competitors, and in this format of the game, that's what you need. A lot of coolness, a lot of calmness, a temperature, a temperate character, because that allows you to, as you rightly pointed out before, to construct an innings and to just build the score up nicely. 59 on the board. You said 65, they'll be happy. I'm pretty sure they want 80 right now as things stand. 75-80. They'll be wanting that as Ragesh and Zayam are coming on to bat. So, well.
And Coleman's back, so strike bowler. They're going to start off with Guy. Nice little outswinger there, and I don't think the batsman was anywhere near hitting that.
That's a cracking delivery by Guy Coleman. I mean, that was really, really nicely done. Coleman again. Those were the off-cutters you were talking about before.
I think that was more swing. They just brought it in a little bit. When he really rips it, you'll see his hand cut through the ball. He's also got a top. He used to have a toppy, and he used to top spin the ball, and it used to really bounce and deceive the batsman. That's a beautiful in-swinger to the left-hand bat. Guy loves bowling to left-hand bats because of his off-spinner, so he's going to probably set him up with another in-swinger followed by an off-cutter. But let's see if I'm right. There's the off-cutter now.
That's why you're a coach.
Well, I've had the luxury of playing with Guy Coleman for many years, so I know his playbook pretty well. And, you'll be disappointed because that's a bit of a soft out. Hands just played through the ball. Why? Because it was a slower off-cutter that Guy bowled, and the two previous delivery pace was different, and he's played through the ball before it's here. He hasn't waited, so well bowled, Guy. Here's the in-swinger again. Yeah, this is a masterclass of bowling in indoor cricket, and you should have a look through some highlights of probably 2002 World Cup where Guy Coleman was in his best form.
I've got him up in the comms here later on, so
Ask him about
let's not big him up too much. I know.
Well negotiated to rotate the strike there. That's really important in indoor cricket. When you're in trouble, get out of trouble. Try and rotate the strike. You don't want to be getting stuck with dots and getting yourself into third ball situation. Score -2, so we're back to 57, and so this 65-70 mark is going to be interesting because New Zealand still have some bowling.
And as you were talking about before, the UAE bowling, nothing spectacular, but
More disciplined, I would say.
they are disciplined,
Yes.
and they are really good at bowling at their line and length. Hood there to bowl. Solid shot there. That's again, and I keep on emphasizing this, I cannot emphasize it enough. That's all that is needed from these two. Just get 6-7 runs and over, and they'll be home and dry. Hood continues. That's another simple run there, up to 61 now. So again, that 65 now looks very achievable. The 70 looks achievable.
Oh, it's early days yet, my friend. It's early days. Anything can happen in indoor cricket. But what I like there was the dive and the commitment from the non-striker running to the trouble end. Wary that the ball was coming back off the net. Robert Sherry's a good fielder, a touch to the wicketkeeper, and he could have well been out and didn't take the risk and just jog it through. He took the dive. So great commitment.
And the calling. I've just noticed that right now. The calling is absolutely superb, and that is out. Inside edge. And as you rightly pointed out, TC, anything can happen in the world of indoor cricket. And from being 35, 65, maybe 70, we're back here again at 56. And we're asking ourselves once more, what's the suitable score here? Because they keep on losing wickets. They keep on building momentum again, and that is being taken away from them. Hood again. Good batting, good fielding, good bowling, all round good cricket there. Up to 56, just one ball left of the 14th over.
Yeah, we've still got Robbie Hyman and Adrian Fung to bowl before this partnership's done, so two very capable bowlers. So I think right now that could be out. A nice try. You'd still want 70 plus, but there's still some bowling to come, so anything can happen. The last two pair proved it. Head down, basics, and low risk percentage cricket got them a really high return in terms of their partnership value. These two now have 2 overs. They really need to focus on 2s and just quieting the Kiwis down and not giving soft dismissals in -5s. It's just not needed.
Completely agree with you there, and that was a decent shot in the last ball. Got for 4 there, so a brave attempt to try and get that caught. So Hindman will be bowling now for New Zealand. Shot. That is a cracking shot for 3 there. Much more of that needed.
Lovely in-swinger, good bowling line, nothing wrong with the delivery. Maybe just a little bit over pitch. Robbie probably just want to pull that back a little bit in terms of his length. And he's just rolled the fingers over that. Very nicely bowled, Robbie.
So 4 overs left of this over. 4 balls left of this over, sorry.
I was going to say, that's a long over. It's been a long week.
It's been a very long week, my friend.
Good wayward throw there from Rob down at the front half area. Interesting, isn't it? Can feel the atmosphere. It's electric. Both teams fighting for the championship title for the week. Hyman comes in, flicks the fingers again. Big offie, bowling to his leg side trap, but it's too short and easily negotiated. Pulled down for 2.
So up to 65 now. That's the bare minimum maybe that the UAE would have been happy with at the beginning of this game.
I have Craig Foster calling me, ex-New Zealand player. I'll have to call you back, Craig, sorry.
That was a good chance there for the New Zealand Masters team. Hyman continues to bowl. Oh, nearly. That was so close yet so far. And well, that's the end of the over. Pretty decent one there for the UAE. They managed to get themselves out from the negative and into a positive 7. So 6 balls left. They have 66 on the board. We did say that something around 70-75 would be perhaps acceptable and suitable for the UAE due to their good defensive bowling. I'm going to say this because it's not like they have strike weapons that they get, like New Zealand has, that they're going to be swinging the ball left, right and centre and express pace. It's more of a defensive bowling lineup where they know that they can defend these low totals. They've done it against New Zealand already twice. So it's a big difference when you have attacking bowlers and you have defensive bowlers. So they will be relatively happy with this as it stands right now. Now they're not. Now they're not. Down to 61 again. And my oh my, how things change in the matter of just a few words, in the matter of just a few seconds. And well, the UAE have wasted a wicket there. Down to 61. New Zealand a cock a hoop. And a wicket in the last over is what you don't want because that gives momentum to the batting side next.
Yeah, just off game plan for me, really, these two, and not needed. Adrian's a good bowler. He's going to bowl good lines at you. Yeah, it was up, but I think that was a high-risk shot at this point of the game where quite positively 70 plus was on the board. Already in the bank. Shorter delivery. Not short enough to be called. No. It was a good ball, and now New Zealand has another chance to pressure UAE into forfeiting another 5 runs. Let's see what happens. Gosh, it never stops in this game, does it? My word.
That's why we love it. Fong continues, and that's a wide. Well,
so to be fair, he may have intentionally tried to be pushing it wide to affect the run out, but it kind of looked more like it slipped out of the hand more than anything. And that ball gets rebowled at the request of UAE, so they get another ball and 2 runs. That's a useful delivery. A little bit quicker, wasn't it?
That's a very good delivery down the leg side, of course. Just the last ball now of the over, and of the skin, and of the innings.
Well, I said 65, so do I get a prize?
You get my utmost respect, and I hope that's enough. Fong
More
continues.
Than enough. More than enough. Oh dear.
Oh my
dear.
word.
Oh dear. Yep. You know, it's a game where you have to concentrate 150%. I think he thought he'd beaten the fielder. He was surprised and wasn't able to react and get back in his crease. And credit to Rob Sherry, great piece of fielding, great reaction and finish to effect that run out. And look at the body language of UAE. They're a little bit down. Score's now 58, and that could have been 70 quite easily, couldn't it?
It could have and it should have. And it would have if it had him. I sound like Shania Twain there. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. It coulda, should have, and would have been a 70 runs if they had just done the basic things right, like Meat and like Mendes did in the skin before that. If they just knocked the ball around, get a couple of twos, couple of threes, just played every ball to its merit instead of trying to. You see what I'm finding here is they're trying too hard to hit the ball, and they should be waiting for the right ball to be hit, and then those other balls just respect it, because at the end of the day, these Kiwi bowlers are fantastic bowlers. You got to show them the respect that they need and that they deserve. So I think perhaps they were trying a little bit too hard to try and be far too intelligent to try and get that score. If they had played within themselves to their strengths, maybe we would have been talking instead of 58, 70, 75.
Yeah, I think you're right. And at this stage of the tournament where you've played each team a couple of times, you already know strategically who the strike bowlers are. And the batting units, the partnerships should already know the strike bowlers that they just want to see off and score 3 or 4 runs, someone like Guy Coleman. And you don't go looking to attack guys like that. And for me, I just don't think they had the batting plan. Just didn't seem visible, other than the third partnership, which is probably one of the best partnerships we've seen all week, to be fair, under that sort of pressure.
So guys, we're going to be taking a short break now. To go to a commercial and be back with you for the start of the second innings. New Zealand chasing 58 runs to win the Masters final. So welcome back, guys, to the start of the second innings. We have Guy Coleman and Priest, two very experienced batters coming now up to the crease. And it's going to be fascinating to watch how both of these experienced players go around attacking these UAE batsmen. Khalid will be bowling. Actually, it will be Siam to bowl the first over. So what have you seen from the UAE bowlers? What do you like about them?
Well, I think I mentioned earlier just the intent on the bowling plan. the way they set their field to their prescribed bowling options. First over of the innings, and Colsey gets a thick inside edge. He's going to get 2 for that. And New Zealand are on the way. Just a quick hello to some of the New Zealand listeners and watchers back home, following their friends and family playing tonight in the Masters, and no doubt later on in the men's. Big shout out to Melissa and Craig the Goon Foster down in Wellington, watching New Zealand negotiate their first final of 2 tonight. It's drifting a little bit down leg side, but still inside. It's not called wide, and the score remains on 2. So 2 very experienced campaigners opening here. What I've seen this week, Guy hasn't been in his best form, but I do know he is a finals player, as is Chris Priest, and they'll be up for this, and they're going to want to get their comrades up for a really solid platform, solid start. And Chris Priest is now facing a 3rd ball option from UAE. It's off the legs, not going to be caught. And good bit of fielding, almost resulting in a run out, but avoiding a -5. But good start by UAE, getting Coleman and Priest on strike 3. They do need some early outs. They do need to apply some pressure. These 2 have not scored heavily during the week, so UAE will know that if they've done their research. Shorter delivery, well played into the back net first, so it's only 1 run. But safe cricket, really safe cricket. Rotating the strike and bringing Priest on. Very good call from Guy. Chris played it in the ground, went up above and behind him, so he wasn't really able to see where it went. Guy had a clear view and backed himself. Looks like Guy's got a little bit of cramp, maybe not enough hydration during the week. And as we know, hydration is the key.
It's all them times he has to walk up those stairs to come to the commentary box. Completely done his hammy, hasn't he? But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, the calling from both Guy, Coleman and Priest has been pretty decent so far. I mean, Guy called Priest over. Priest didn't know where the ball was, to be fair. And Guy did some really good calling. That is the basics of cricket, you know. And we were discussing this with Guy, we were discussing this with Guy yesterday. Just do the basics of cricket right. That's all it is. Get your basics right. Get your line and lengths right. Hit the balls nicely when they have to be hit. Respect the bowler when he has to be respected, and you'll get a decent score. Now, 7 runs off this first over and 1 ball, and New Zealand are in pole position right now. Unless Khalid, and that's again another poor delivery there by Khalid. Pressure is telling, isn't it, on the UAE bowlers?
Yeah, I think he's just trying a little bit hard. He's got good pace. Can see that he's trying to bowl in at the batsman over the top of the middle, but it's drifting down leg side, and he doesn't have the cover in the field there, so needs to tighten up that line. And this time he's overcompensated. He's gone short and wide outside off, and it's an easy 2. So you really need to get on game here with their bowling plans, tighten up the lines, or these 2, particularly Guy, if it's up or wide, he'll punish you.
I've noticed something about the UAE. They are a bit deflated right now. They're not as bubbly as they always are, chirpy, talking to the batsmen.
And I can't hear the drums. What's happened to the drums?
That's a Kiwi in you coming out, isn't it? Definitely the Kiwi in you coming out. But yeah, I mean,
it's back. They heard me.
I think they're listening to our commentary, and they're just making a point of it.
That's what we like.
But as you were discussing, the UAE are a team that needs momentum. It needs to feed off the energy. Oh my word! Just as we were talking,
Must have been the drums.
Must have been the drums. Must have been that energy that's needed. And this is exactly what the Kiwis do not want. They did not want to let the UAE into this game at any point. That was a cracking delivery. As you rightly pointed out, TC, not express pace, but the right length, the right length, the right type of ball to Priest. And it's just perfect.
Yeah, look, that was a pretty good delivery by any standards, and Priest has just played around that a little bit, but the bowler's been rewarded after 3 pretty wayward deliveries. Came back, so good for UAE. Score's now at 8, so...
And that gives them momentum. That gives them momentum. Meat bowls a little bit of off spin. So that gives them momentum coming into this this third over of this first skin. Something the New Zealanders did not want the UAE to have.
Oh, exactly right. Let's see how Meat negotiates this. Easily pulled around the corner by Guy. And if he doesn't get his lengths right here, we could see some back net action from both of these batsmen from New Zealand.
Needs to bowl a slightly fuller ball. Try to induce the drive. There we go. That's the kind of ball that they need.
That's very well bowled.
That's the kind of ball that they consistently need. If you bowl a little bit too short, as you saw Guy Coleman there, it's easy to just swivel on the hips and hit the ball down into the nets and into the springs. So they really need to just bowl a little bit fuller here, mate.
He's bowling with sort of a googly action, so it's initiating a typical off-break outcome, and that's been well driven. And I did say if they don't get their length right, they will go to the back net, and Coleman's equal to the task. So Meat needs to really just either flight it more or pull his length back and bowl flatter.
Meat continues. Oh, chance! Oh my word! Oh, that was a mix-up. We were praising their calling before. Priest just run. He just run, and Guy didn't really hear that, did he?
Well, he didn't know where the ball was, so he's naturally confused and maybe didn't hear the call early enough. But Priest felt that he could get through and was more than committed, and New Zealand very fortunate to escape there without a -5 run out. It's just drifted down leg side. Still inside no, it has been called wide. It's a bit hard to see where we are. We're not exactly directly in the middle of the court, so we have to rely on the TV replay sometimes. Yeah, just over pitching and not a demonstration of how to handle that at the back stumps.
That's a cracking shot there by Chris Priest. I mean, as you rightly said, Meat's over pitched. The thing is, he has caused a little bit of confusion for the batsman, but the lines and lengths have not been consistent enough. When he's been full, it's been too full, and that's been easily dispatched for 4 and 5. So 22 runs of those first 3 overs. So the last over of this skin now, 6 balls left. Of course, let's forget about the skins. New Zealand don't need to, look at that. They just need to get above 58 by the time that the 4th skin and the last ball of the over is bowled. So Mendes the ball, he's a very good bowler.
Yeah, I think UAE uses him as a strike bowler, and they really need a negative over here to put this partnership back in its place and try and match that 15 that the UAE team scored, and put a little bit of pressure on the second partnership coming in. But got good experience from New Zealand here, and let's see how Priest negotiates Mendes.
Mendes to bowl. Oh, nicely tucked there down the leg side. Just a little bit of a leg glance there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nicely played, and Guy was always going to be comfortable getting through there. Just wonder if Guy's going to, just hit the twos and be really solid and structured here, or if he's going to want to have a hit if the ball's pitched up. Oh. And that is a chance missed by UAE. Guy knows that he probably shouldn't have run, but he ran anyway, and UAE did not execute the out. It's gone straight to hand. I think Guy thought that he'd beaten the fielder. It was a good pick up by the leg side, wasn't it, though? And the flick was near enough to the keeper, and quite frankly, that should be out every time.
It should have been, so that's a clear-cut opportunity there, wasted by UAE. Mendes again. Good defender, good defensive shot, good bowling.
Well. He's bowling well, and he's doing his job. He's already created a chance. Now he's created a dot ball. We'll look to capitalise that and try and get this Chris on to strike 3 or 3rd ball. He's bowling a good over.
It's all about creating that kind of pressure. Mendes continues. Oh my word, that's another chance that they had. The fielding, I mean, I've praised the UAE because they've been buzzing in the field, but today they're letting themselves down. That was 2 clear-cut opportunities that they've just wasted in the field, which technically they shouldn't have wasted. I mean,
The score right now could be 14, right? And
Exactly.
not difficult chances at all. Very disappointing for UAE. This could be a run out. Nice dive, good commitment, and I think New Zealand very fortunate to have 26 on the board. Mendes has done everything right, creating opportunities. He's done his part of the job, and his teammates just sadly haven't been able to execute. Bowling over now. Good line there. Guy not able to capitalise. That's the end of a partnership, which, you know, the scoreboard doesn't actually tell the true story. That you know, quite well should have been 12, 14 runs, and they're walking off with 26. And New Zealand certainly has the upper hand in this final at the moment.
Well, Guy Coleman's got a quirky smile to him, as he usually does. But is it because, as you rightly pointed out, he knows that there were 2 or 3 chances at the UAE on a different day? Maybe in game 1 and game 3 they would have taken. Or is it because he's genuinely happy that, you know, they got 26 and yeah, we're on the roll here? So it's interesting. I'll ask him later. When he's up here with me in the final.
I wonder if he'll tell you the truth, because I can answer the question. I think he definitely knows, and it's about execution, and you only get one chance. But I think they're rushing it in the field, just from this sort of observation level. Ball in hand before you then take the next step, which is either a flick or a throw or a touch, and they're just rushing it. And someone in the team just needs to tell them they've got time. At Masters level, they're not as fast as the men running between the wicket. They're not going to, they're not going to get there nearly as quickly. You do have a couple of extra seconds to take the ball cleanly and get it to the keeper or get it to the back stumps. And if you're watching this, you should think about that when you're back on the court. Take time yourself to get the ball cleanly in hand before you execute your out.
That's a good explanation there, Coach. Absolutely fantastic, and you're completely right. I mean, Sachin is bowling a good line and length here. 2 runs on the over so far, and well, that was not the best of shots there, was it? But that's all he needs to do. Just continue to apply the pressure, have a few miserly overs here and there, restrict New Zealand to as little as they possibly can restrict them to.
And you know what I took from that New Zealand partnership was that the opportunities that UAE did create were all pretty much around that leg stump, top of middle, and around leg side, except for one on the off. And I just wonder if UAE needs to just think about that, just stop and think a little bit, and test the waters there a little bit more, and maybe go back to a leg side field and bowl at the body, bowl at leg stump. A wide down leg side is probably better than a short and wide delivery outside off that could go for an easy 2 or 3 or more. So let's just see how UAE looks at this strategically and regroup themselves after that first partnership.
Striker pose, TC, striker pose. So 32 on the scoreboard there, 6 runs off the over. Good over, all things considered. It's not bad, you know. And as you rightly pointed out before, the scoreboard should have been a bit less with those 2 chances that happened in the first skin. We cannot ponder on that again, because that is in the past. What actually matters is the present and what the UAE does in this present moment. Umbat to bowl. Pretty decent ball. Is he gone? Is he gone? Is he gone? No, he isn't. Are they going to go for the DRS system? Are they going to use a DRS?
They absolutely need to.
They have to. They need a wicket, don't they? They need a wicket. And let's see what we see here in the repetitions. So the decision has been reviewed by the UAE. You're going to see it here in slow motion.
It was an in-swinger into the legs. It's come off the leg, off the back net, leg side, touch to the keeper. Keeper does look like, I think
he's in.
I think he's safe. Yeah.
He's in.
Yeah. Good review though.
He's in.
And I think UAE had to take the review, didn't they? They really needed the out.
Yeah. That's a very good. Running there by both men. Dangerous.
Yes.
A little bit risky, maybe unnecessarily risky, but you know, given the outcome of the result, it's a decent point.
Well, it's turning over the strike, and yeah, Fong definitely was committed, and as we saw, made it quite comfortably in the end.
So the UAE have 1 review left. That's they have 2 reviews per game, so they have 1 review left now. Umbat to continue bowling. That's inside the line, so that's not a wide.
Good ball.
That's not a wide. That's a pretty decent ball there by Ambat. And of course, this is what the UAE need to continue applying a little bit of the pressure. 4 balls left of this over. That's a wide. That's a wide.
He's been working so hard on bowling dots and then just relieves the pressure immediately, and New Zealand avoid that third ball pressure.
Well, that's not exactly what was needed. That's a good shot there by Fong onto the springs there into the top net. So 37 runs on the board. Second skin as the Kiwis are preparing for their game in the next court, playing a little bit of football with a rugby ball there. We do call it football, my friend, where I come from in Gibraltar, the UK. You guys might call it soccer or whatever else you call it, but it is football.
There's only one game and it's rugby.
Well, you know what? I won't disagree with you there. That's a man's sport, isn't it? Totally. All these big units. That's another wide there, and well, we're up to 39 runs on the board.
So this is the moment where the captain really has to say, all right guys, we're either all in or we're out, because this game could go horribly wrong in the next 2 overs. Fong could easily close this out and put UAE to sleep very quickly if UAE's not careful. They've got to pump themselves up. This is a final. You spent 5 days of the week playing cricket to get here. Let's use the opportunity. Let's not give up, because anything can happen. We just need to apply some pressure and start with 1 out. Let's see if they can do that.
Siam to bowl. He was not ready. The field was not ready. They don't look super pumped like they should. There's no chirpiness to it. There's no energy to it. I just haven't seen it in this game. I've seen it in the past games against India, against New Zealand, where there was a bit of banter going on between them. They were calling themselves out, and especially the first 2 games. Third one was played a bit cleaner, but those first 2 games there was definitely some banter going on there.
That can happen. You can peak too early, and when you play sometimes above your level. They've beaten New Zealand twice this week already. Maybe they've played their best cricket, but they're here in the finals, and I think they should deserve. They owe it to each other, and there was a chance there. The throw was wayward, and the net result was not an out. So my view is, if you're here, front up or go home. They've got themselves here, and credit to them. Well done. But if they don't pull something out of the bag and give it 2 overs of everything, this game's going to slip away, and we're going to see New Zealand score 100 plus.
And they've got there on both fronts. Let's not forget, the men's team has also got to the final. Surprising and upsetting the odds, because everyone was expecting an India-New Zealand final, or maybe perhaps even a Sri Lanka-New Zealand final. But certainly no one, as far as I'm concerned, at the beginning of this tournament, gave the UAE a praying chance of reaching the final of the men's tournament. So credit to them. They managed to beat the number 3 side in the world, the number 4 side in the world. So it's a big learning curve for them, isn't it? Reaching these kinds of finals. They can only improve as time goes on by playing more finals like this, by playing more consistent games like this. And that only bodes well for the future of indoor cricket in Asia especially.
Yeah, I don't think I was asked, but I certainly didn't count UAE out. I've seen them push New Zealand on a number of occasions, more recently in the 2017 World Cup. I think they actually beat New Zealand in one of the first round robin games, and they certainly pushed them in the 2019 World Cup. They've got a great setup, they've got great centre support. They've had Matt Henderson from New Zealand helping coach them, former New Zealand indoor player, and they've recently had the the International Club Nationals, where all these international teams have turned up and played the Club Nationals, which was only last week. So it certainly seems like indoor cricket's thriving in UAE, and when that happens, you rise to the level. You want to be the best you can be, and they've been very methodical about their preparation. I think I was telling a couple of the other coaches that they're very disciplined, and so full credit. I wasn't that surprised.
When I do say surprise, it's because they're missing obviously 3 or 4 key players.
Sure.
That's the reason why perhaps no one really gave them a praying chance, because 3 or 4 players are not here for whatever reason that may be. We're not going to go into that, into the details. But their squad is not as strong as it could have been, maybe.
No, that's fair, and certainly both India and Sri Lanka talented teams, and I think actually everyone's had injuries. I don't think that's played out well for anyone, and that happens in tournaments. And when you have a squad of 12 that are good enough to take the court in the final, that's the best squad of the tournament. You can't take 12 people and only have 8 that are good enough to play a game or play in a final. And clearly, it looks like UAE brought 12 to the tournament. And when the other teams have suffered with injuries, it certainly took its toll on them.
That's good batting there by Fong.
There's another chance, and if that had connected, if that had hit the stumps, that would have been run out by a fair margin. So the Kiwis, look at the score, creeping up. It's 55, and this is what I was worried about earlier. If UAE didn't pick themselves up and get into the game, apply some pressure, and get some outs, this could all be over very, very soon, sadly for UAE.
Mendes continues, last ball. Oh my word, he's pulled him out with an absolute peach of a Yorker.
He's a good bowler, isn't he? He's capable of that, so well bowled. And just brought a little bit of life. Maybe the drums will start beating again soon after that -5.
But that's what they need. They need a few more.
They do. You're right.
A few more wickets here and there at key moments in the game. It's 58-50. New Zealand are obviously on top in this game, and they are running away with it at this stage, halfway stage of their innings. The second skin has just been done, and Drew Holmes and Robert Hindman are now batting. Perhaps not the strongest of pairs, so perhaps the UAE can see and can target this third skin a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree to a point. Robbie hasn't played a lot during the week because he's been carrying a number of injuries, so if I was captain of UAE, I'd certainly be targeting that. He's not going to be able to run quickly through to the other end as the non-striker. I'd be testing him. I'd be telling my field to make sure that he stretches out and push that injury to the best of my ability. And the fact that he hasn't played a lot of cricket this week is something that they should try and take advantage of. Having said that, he's very experienced. He's been around the New Zealand camp for Masters for a number of years. He's a real talent. And the one thing about Robbie is he's got a good head on him, and it's hard to phase the guys. So UAE's got their job cut out for them in this partnership. I don't know a lot about Holmes, but what I have seen has been fairly well contested during the week. Holmes is also carrying an injury. I think he went off last night in the game. So you've got 2 guys that are pretty injured. I would be really pushing these 2 if I was UAE. But they have to bowl better lines, don't they?
So it's what I was just about to say. You read my mind. They can't be bowling there. They have to be bowling at the legs. They have to be bowling at to their strengths. That's better. That's much, much, much better. Try to contain the Kiwis as much as they possibly can to try and create a third ball scenario where then they have to force them to run and get a wicket out of that. You see, that applies pressure, third ball scenario. Now these 2, they have to run. There's no other way around it. Is it going to be a trip and charge, maybe just a defensive charge?
And as I mentioned earlier, they've both been carrying injuries, so they're not going to be sprinting. So, let's see how this unfolds. That should be a catch, and is. And that's third ball pressure, isn't it? And that's all UAE need to do. This is more like what we've seen earlier in the week and the last sort of 2 nights, where UAE can just put the handbrake on with a couple of overs, sensible bowling, stump to stump literally, and making the batsman make the errors.
Easier said than done. Like we were talking before, everything is easier said than done from up here, where we have a nice vantage point, of course, and we are talking about the game and commentating on events unfolding before our eyes. But on the field of play, when the pressure is stacked on you, sometimes you don't think correctly. Sometimes your mind gets all fuzzy. That's not the best of balls there by Sachin. So the UAE, again, they're not allowing New Zealand to get in front, are they? The Kiwis are nearly there, and they get it back down again. So if they can continue that same verve,
It's just too short,
yeah.
too wide, and that's just cannon fodder. Come on, UAE, you've got to get these bowling lines right.
58-55, Sachin to bowl. That's a wide. Well, not what the doctor ordered, 58-57. And as much as Khalid did some very good work in the over before, Sachin is pretty much putting it all to waste in this over as of now.
Well played by Holmes. It's too short. Sachin's not quick enough to bowl that short, and Holmes has dispensed with that correctly. Well played.
So the Kiwis take the lead, 59-58. Sachin again. That's much better. Much better, but still a decent shot.
Bit of a leg break action there. I don't think it spun much. Didn't trouble Robbie because of the width that he had. But if he wants to float that up, that would be a bit more interesting for Sachin. But yeah, I really think that's where I would be bowling to New Zealand at the moment. I'd just be bowling wicket to wicket. Look, guys, let's just bowl wicket to wicket. Let's bowl straight, short of a length, and let's just let them see what they do with it. it's for them to lose. And because, quite frankly, I haven't seen a clear bowling plan executed. That happens. We've all got the plans, and you know.
And at this moment in time, they're not bowling wicket to wicket. They're trying to, as he said just now, execute different kinds of plans, but it's not working out.
No.
Just keep it simple. My coach when I was a youngster playing outdoor cricket always used to tell me, Joe, stump to stump. It's as simple as that. If you bowl stump to stump, you can either get him out LBW, you can get him out bowled, or he'll just fend the shot off. If he plays a shot and hits you for a run, bravo to the batsman. Well done, mate. But just keep it simple. Keep it nice and tight. Stump to stump. Don't give them any width to free their arms. Don't hit it on the legs to try and, just keep it nice and tight. And that's all the UAE have to do.
B to B, back to basics.
Yeah. Back to basics. That's a cracking shot for 4 there. So, the UAE look deflated, don't they?
Yeah, they've got to get themselves in the game. They've just got to get these bowling lengths and lines right. Otherwise, Kiwis are going to capitalise. They're not going to sit around and let balls like that go to waste. That's over pitch, full toss, and it's another 4. So this over's going horribly wrong for UAE.
So the final seems to be slowly creeping away from the hands of the UAE. 58, we believe, was never going to be enough. We did think that maybe 75-80 was going to be a competitive score, but even that right now is looking like a pretty simple score for the New Zealanders to chase down as they are on 72. Ambat continues bowling the last ball of his spell. That's another run there, and nothing that Meek can do about that as the ball hits the back net there. 73-58. This game looks like it's only going one way, isn't it?
Look, it's never over until it's over, right? We've still got Hood to come in and bat. I saw him get out a few times the other night when pressure was applied to him. So, look, certainly not over, but at the moment you'd have to say New Zealand has the upper hand. The problem with the last pair is you've got Robert Sherry batting last with Hood. Robert's very experienced, so, I would be surprised if this doesn't end in a New Zealand victory. But it's indoor cricket. Let's see what happens.
Rajesh to bowl. Number 36 here for the UAE. Decent ball. Decent ball. Are they going to run for the overthrow? No, they're not. At this age, at this point in time, even getting up from the floor is a bit of a problematic moment, isn't it? Rajesh continues. That's good. That's decent. That's not a wide, is it? That's third ball. So pressure being applied by the UAE. This is what it's all about. Rajesh continues. That's nicely done. Nicely done. So much experience there, and a tremendous single there for the Kiwis to get off strike there. Rajesh continues. Oh, that should have been caught. Those chances. They've already had 3 clear chances, haven't they, with that catch there, not taken. That's 3 clear dollies. The 2 run-outs and the
That's
and
right.
that drop
We
chance.
go back to the first partnership, and missed chances is just critical at this level, and to continue applying pressure, you can't miss chances in a final. It's just unforgiving.
I mean, they would have been down to 61 if those 3 chances had been taken, and there's still a little bit of life in the game left. As things are going right now, it's
Well, the Kiwis aren't even running this, they're holding, and you just see Robbie play that out. There's no need to run, there's no pressure, and that silences the UAE fielding side as Sherry and Hood come in to close this game out, batting last.
it's been clinical so far, hasn't it? I mean, the Kiwis have put a clinical display on so far.
They bowled really well, and they were helped by, I think, UAE being a little bit overwhelmed, almost surprised at times, which happens, but I think they'll look back at it with some regret. But yeah, it looks to be a fairly daunting task, especially when Mendes has already bowled out, strike bowler. That's not something they've got up their sleeve, and it's going to take something really special from one of these players, either in the field or ball in hand, good bit of stumping or wicket keeping to climb back into this game.
And do you think maybe this could be a precursor for what we're going to be seeing at 4:30 later on, the New Zealand men's against the UAE men's? Obviously, again, a lack of experience in big occasions like a final maybe. This is a pretty big tournament. It's New Zealand Asia Cup. So, are we going to see perhaps something similar? The UAE, having played so well throughout the week, just gradually fading away as the game goes along, or? I hope not, because we're going to be calling the game, and I hope it's entertaining to the last ball. But I'm just a little bit worried about that game afterwards, because the Kiwis are very, very clinical in the cutthroat, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Look, I'd say probably a couple of things to try and avoid answering the question. That's a good dive. I don't think there's a need for a review of that. I think one thing that will definitely play in the hands for UAE tonight is there is not a large crowd as yet. The Kiwis have played in a number of tournaments and huge games with large crowds and cheering and distractions, and that's not going to be here this evening. So UAE doesn't have that to contend with in the final for them. So that plays into their hand more than it does the Kiwis. The Kiwis are the cup holders for the Asia Cup. Pressure's on them to defend the title. And so, that always plays in the back of one's mind, to defend a title rather than to chase down and win a title. Good back flick there. That was Mendes, I think, on the line. He's been my player of the fielder and bowler of the UAE tonight. Really, really good player. And I think it's also going to be the fact that UAE has massive belief. They've just beaten India convincingly back to back. And India looked really good. I mean, they had, I would say, the best bowling attack in the tournament. And there's going to be belief. And when you have that sort of belief, you can tell yourself and your teammates that anything's possible. And I don't really care who's in the final. It doesn't matter. We're good enough to win. And I certainly think that plays in the hands of UAE tonight. So all that being said, I think we're going to have a great contest on our hands.
That's a very Swiss answer there. Very diplomatic, very neutral answer. I love it. I really do. You're not going either here nor there. It's fantastic. Absolutely great.
I want to keep the viewers on their toes, excited, because that's how it should be. And that is sincerely my answer. I don't think anyone's got an advantage, because I also don't think New Zealand thought they were going to play UAE in the final. So a lot of the homework, a lot of the research, a lot of the guys that would have been watching games would have been more focused on India than UAE, and so they won't feel that they know UAE nearly as well as potentially they had their eyes fixated on India. Again, that plays an advantage of UAE. No doubt New Zealand has some brains trust with Paul Botterill and Lee Kelly and others behind the scenes, but I think it's going to be a really, really good contest. I'm really excited. I still didn't answer your question, did I?
It's fine. I completely understand it. And to be fair, you're right. I mean, it's. You just hope it's going to be a cracking game, a even Stevens match. And to be very fair, everyone likes a Cinderella story, don't they? Everyone likes an underdog coming up from the down and just trying to, against all odds. And this is that kind of story. It is an underdog story, whether we want to say it or not. But obviously, New Zealand are the team to beat in this competition, without a doubt. And the UAE were perhaps the fourth best team in the competition. So to reach the final, to have a shot at winning the maiden Asia Cup, I think it really truly is an underdog story, a Cinderella moment here for the UAE. If they can do it, even if they can't, they'll take that experience with them and they'll continue growing. And like I said before, that it's only positive, not just for UAE cricket, but also for Asian cricket, because now you see India and Sri Lanka thinking, oh, wait a second, the UAE have beaten us. What do we have to do to improve? Because we don't want to be number 2 in Asia, we don't want to be number 3 in Asia, we want to be the best in Asia. So what do we have to do to improve? And that little bit of introspective, that's a really good shot, as you rightly said, that little bit of introspective behavior now, India and Sri Lanka have to go back to the drawing board and say, wait a second, what do I have to do better? So again, it just bodes well for the future of Asian indoor cricket.
Right, it's super exciting. Been around indoor cricket a long time, and to sort of now have more regular frequency or cadence of tournaments here in Asia is just remarkable. And to be standing here in Bangalore, not playing on this occasion, but watching and being part of this festival of indoor cricket is remarkable. So, yeah, you're right. Credit to UAE, credit to all the teams. It's been a really tough week. Plenty of injuries, no doubt, in part due to the heat. And Sherry just negotiates that nicely in a classy down up 2. Well, it has to be said, congratulations to both sides for making the final. Hasn't been an easy road to get here. And despite New Zealand losing to UAE twice during the week, we've seen them really get up, prepare well, and convincingly win this final. I mean, New Zealand's at 100 at the moment. I think I did mention half an hour ago that there was a risk that if UAE didn't climb into the game, that it could just slip away, and sadly for them, that's happened. I think if they look back on this game over the week, over next weekend maybe, when they've had a break, they'll regret a few of those missed outs, a few of those sort of unforced errors with the bat that we just haven't seen from New Zealand tonight.
So very valid points there. Himanshu continues. Just 3 balls left after this one. This over of this final. It's been not as tight as perhaps we would have expected, given the matches that they have played before, where New Zealand lost against the UAE the first game by 2 or 3 runs, and they came back, and then UAE won again by a couple of runs here and there. So it hasn't been as tight as maybe we would have expected or hoped. But like I said before, and like we have discussed, the Kiwis have been cutthroat. They've been absolutely clinical with their batting and with their bowling. They haven't really made any single mistakes, and the UAE's fielding has left a lot to be desired in this match, where they've been buzzing throughout the whole tournament. In this game, since the first over they were batting, when they lost that first wicket in the first over, you could already feel there was something in the air that was not just right for the UAE. So that is the game, my friends. It's been a very one-sided affair here in the Masters final. New Zealand 107, UAE 58.
Congratulations, New Zealand, and to UAE. Lovely spectacle, and wishing everyone safe trip back home, and look forward to seeing them back at the next Asia Cup. Right, Joel?
Well, that would be fantastic. I think the next series is in Colombo, isn't it? Next year, there's something happening in Colombo, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what it is, whether it's a club series or a world series. I'm not sure, but I know there's something happening in Colombo next year in Sri Lanka, so that's going to be interesting. But like you said, very well done to the Kiwis for winning this first final. This is the Masters final, and now at 4:30, in around half an hour's time, we have the men's final between, once again, these two same sides, the UAE men's team and the New Zealand men's team. We hope and pray that it's going to be a tighter game, at least as a neutral that we both are, even though you're a Kiwi, but still as a neutral that we both are. We want to see a fierce battle so that, it just bodes well for indoor cricket. The fans will be watching saying, wow, crikey, I like this, because it goes down to the last ball and anything can happen. So once again, congrats to New Zealand for winning the Masters final. Commiserations to the UAE for losing, but again, fantastic display. They managed to beat New Zealand twice. They lost twice, so you can call that a draw, can't you? They lost the last game though, which is the most important
We
one.
may not see it that way, but yeah, again, well played to UAE, and great spectacle to watch. And look, I hope you enjoyed the final. You're in good hands with Guy Coleman, but if you need a break from him, I'll pop back upstairs and join you. But thanks for joining me in the commentary of this game, and look forward to doing it again with you. Thanks for everyone for dialing in, watching back home in New Zealand, and wishing both teams well for the final. Thanks, Joel.
I've had 4 cans of Monsters today, so I'm pretty served with energy today, my friend. But TC, cheers for that. I much appreciate that. And my friends, it's been a pleasure for this final. Half an hour break now, and we'll be back for the men's final between New Zealand and the UAE, starting at 4:30 Indian Standard Time, which is in around 25 minutes time. Till then, enjoy your chai, enjoy your coffee, enjoy your samosas. If you're in New Zealand, probably having dinner by now, maybe, or maybe you're just about to go to sleep. Well, enjoy your nightcap. I won't tell anyone. Guys, do take care. I'll see you soon.